Monday's market. What do we call this stuff? We call it scrub. We're talking about stocks, crypto, real estate, and bonds. So today it's a long day already. So if you guys are out there watching, either grab a cup of coffee, grab a soda, or grab some water, and let's talk markets. So what we're going to talk about today is what's going on in the stock market. And I don't think anybody really got my thumbnail this morning because I put out there banks not having issues. The markets are okay. Basically, what we're seeing in the markets right now is there's just basically humdrum. There's really no information out there about any more banks defaulting, which is fantastic news. If you guys will let me know, if you would, as you come on board, let me know where you're coming from, and where you're calling or where you're checking me out from. Are you local? Are you in California? Where in the country are you? So without further ado, let's get over to where the markets are today. So what you're seeing on your screen right now, I will put it up here in 1 second, is this. So let's go start talking the markets. Let me get rid of this caption. I was just doing some research on this, and I'll get that out of the way. So what you're seeing on your screen right now are what's going on in the bond yields. There was a Treasury auction today. So those in the mortgage business, if you're watching the MBS markets and they're getting hammered, well, there wasn't a good showing for people buying mortgage-backed securities. I don't think there was really anybody buying really anything in bonds because we had a D rating on the bond offering today. The Fed they sold 42 today. They've sold $42 billion in Treasury bills. The 2-year came down to 3.95. It's the first time in a long time that it's been below 4%. So we're seeing right now is a 10-year Treasury. It's up 16 basis points. And then we're getting some havoc here in the MBS market. What this is telling us is mortgage rates are going up. So without further ado, let's get over to the headlines in the economics. So we have the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 both up. And they're not up that much. They were up quite a bit earlier, and now they're giving back. We do have negative sentiment right now in the NASDAQ, and there's reason for that. And the Russell 2000 is up, and the crude oil is up. So basically all across the board, we have the markets up other than the NASDAQ. Now let's focus in on the headlines, because remember last few weeks, all we've seen is this isn't working. That's not working. Banks are going out of business. People are getting laid off. There's a recession coming. Earnings are bad and everything else. So we want to put a beat on what the markets are doing and how we're going to make money in this market. And what I like to try to focus in on is real estate. So if you have any questions out there, please let me know what those questions are. But as you come on, all I ask you to do is one thing. You don't have to give me a thumbs up. You don't have to smack any like button or whatever. Let me know where you guys are coming from. I want to make sure we have people all over basically the country. I'm trying to find best times for the West Coast. So as you guys come on board, please let me know where you're coming from. But we see right here, banks mixed. Banks rise after SVB sale. So what happened is a bank come in and basically saved the day for Silicon Valley Bank, and that's making the markets kind of at ease a little bit right now. But then when you hear right here, it is the Federal Reserve's top regulators say the SVB situation was basically textbook mismanagement. So a lot of people right now, remember when I told you back about a week or two ago, I'm like, guys, relax. This isn't going to be systemic like all the media was trying to play it. Because again, the more like shock and all they give you, the more you're going to check out their media channels to make sure, you know, what's going on. Here, we're going to tell you the truth. I came out last week and said, guys, I don't think this is going to be systemic. Then we watched the Federal Reserve. We watched a lot of their comments. We read their transcripts, and we're also seeing what they're commenting since all this debacle took place, and the markets are actually easing. Okay. So basically everybody's coming out right now saying it's not going to be systemic. But again, a lot of investors still want you to think that, because they can hopefully you drive down that market and then they could pick it up on basically at a fire sale, a lot of these stocks. So guys, let me know if you can post. I don't have any posts up yet. I don't know if there's a glitch in the system, because usually by now we already have some questions coming in. The next thing is cryptocurrencies. They're under attack again. Now guys, they're under attack not only by the federal government, other governments, and everybody else. A lot of investors are now like, okay, I've really lost my butt on a lot of these things, and I'm really reluctant to get into those. You can see right here, when I called it last week, I said, guys, I'm a short-term seller of Bitcoin and any cryptocurrencies at this time. I'm not a stock advisor. I'm not licensed to do this. So please don't go off of my recommendations for trading. I just do this for educational purposes and entertainment purposes. I let you guys know what I'm doing or what's what's in my thoughts before I do investments. So I did a ton of investments or basically research on cryptocurrencies. I kind of liked Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you got any questions for me on that, just ask those and I'd be love to answer those. Why First Citizens got a $16.5 billion discount for taking over SVB Bank? Well, I'm going to talk about that in more detail tomorrow. I'm still trying to get all the context here, but I'll be able to provide that with you tomorrow, what's going on there. But what I do want to do is show you guys what's going on with the stocks that were involved with a lot of this banking stuff. And I said, just wait, give it a little bit of time for a lot of this stuff to subside. It will subside. And when it does, there's major profits to be taken right here. So let's go through some of these banks that were in default not too long ago, or maybe on the auction table, were rumored to be basically in ready to default. So let's go through some of these. UBS stepped in and took over somebody or helped take over a lot of that. There are up 2% basically today alone. So now here's where we really get to some of these. First Republic up 12%. Today, folks. So if you invested in these are some of the returns you're going to look at. Credit Suisse up 1.54%. Goldman Sachs, which had nothing to do with any of this stuff, it's up almost 2%. JP Morgan Chase up about 3%. And guys, this is just one day. So think about what do you get from your savings account? I'll reference it now instead of 0.00009. Maybe you're getting in your savings account maybe 0.75 right now, maybe. And that's if your bank is generous, but that's really why a lot of people are starting to take their money out of bank stocks, or their money out of the bank, because there's no returns to be made. You can get treasuries. You can go back to this. You can go to the 10-year treasury, which I wouldn't take. You can get basically the same yield on a 2-year as you're doing the 10-year. You can get almost a 4% return on your money if you buy 2-year treasuries. So just take that for what it's worth. But again, that's a 1-year return. Let's get to some of these others. Now, here's what you're talking about. First Citizens Bank up 22%. Now, if you had preferred stock in First Citizens Bank, what are you up today? 53%. Okay, so that's the things that are happening in the markets, especially on the banking side of the equation. Let's get to the markets in general. I use CNBC because it just highlights right there in front of you. Dow Jones has closed. It closed just shy of up 200 points for the day. The S&P was basically nothing. It was up 6 points. NASDAQ got a little bit of hampering today. It's down 55. Russell 2000 is up 20, and the VIX is down a little bit, which means investors aren't as worried as they were last week. So let's get over to some housing news. And if you guys are out there and you have any questions in regards to housing or real estate or anything like that, the one thing I want to do is let you guys know how much wealth is in the real estate market right now. There is a ton of wealth. So a lot of people are saying, where are the foreclosures? Because some people are saying foreclosures are out of whack. And then others are like me, who really give you the truth behind things. We're saying, okay, foreclosures are there. They're a part of the business, but they aren't going anywhere right now because people have too much equity in their homes. That's what these charts are telling you. They're saying people have a ton of equity in their homes, and in most cases, you're not going to see the foreclosures really ramp up. Therefore, you're not going to have the supply of homes from foreclosures entering the market, adding to more the number of sales in the markets. So again, what do we focus in on here? What we try to focus in on, especially in housing, is what's going to go on with prices. Well, as we see more and more houses come to market, that's good news, actually good news for the markets. The more quantity you have, or the more supply you have out there, it can, as long as it oversees demand, it'll start basically bringing house prices in equilibrium with the sales and demand charts that we see in basically Economics 101. So what we discussed on Friday is I showed you the basically Economics 101. We went over how the charts work, and you found out, hopefully you learned a lot on that day. But I just want to show you guys where we are in how much equity people have. You can see in Q4 2022, here's where it was. Okay, in Q4 of 2022, or hold on a second. The market real estate, 43 trillion is what we have in right now in values. Down through here, the home data liabilities, 12.52. So this is how much in liabilities we have. This is how much in equity we have. So this spread here is basically all good news when it comes to home buyers. Let's go to the next thing. If you guys are out there looking for a home, okay, what I do for a living, and then I'll answer any questions that you have, because a lot of people still don't understand what I do for a living. They say, Dan, you recommend stocks. You don't recommend stocks. You talk to us about stocks. You talked to us about cryptocurrencies and the bond market and everything else. But what do you really do? Well, I'm actually a mortgage advisor, and my team consists of, there's a bunch of YouTubers out there that are a part of the Frio team, like Kyle Seagraves and Win the House You Love, Nicole Nark. We just brought her on. Those are our top two YouTubers out there that are out there to help you guys when it comes to learning real estate. Okay, so what I want to show you right now is our website. We added some features to this, and we added a little bit of a dynamic to this. We want to know what you guys are looking for when it comes to a rate, if you're out there to refinance or maybe even buy a new home. But on this channel, on this website, we try to give you all the information that you need. So spend a little bit of time there. Let me just give you a few little tidbits here on how you can get the most out of the website. So when you're going through here, you're going to see, okay, there's a short application, all that stuff. Let's just fly through that. Let's not apply now, because in most cases, we want you to do a calendar appointment with us. So we want you to schedule an appointment down below. There's a link down below in the description. Schedule that, because most of the times you're going to have questions. You're going to want to know, okay, Dan, what can I do with this credit score? How much would I qualify with this income? How much money do I need down? How can I maybe increase my credit scores? Are there down payment assistance programs? Do I qualify for a reverse mortgage? All this stuff that's where we can help you. But let's go along here on some of the things you can do for yourself, because what I try to do on my channel is give you guys all the information you need and you can supply yourself with to be a very knowledgeable consumer. I don't care if you're looking to buy stocks, if you're looking to buy cryptocurrencies, you're looking to buy bonds or learn about this stuff, or you really want to get into the housing market for your first house or an investment property, what can you do? What programs are out there? Because there are a slew of programs that most people don't know about. Okay, so let's just go over some of the features that we have here on the channel. If you already have a loan estimate and you want to make sure that we can find you the best rate out there in the country, because we offer that service for you guys. If you reference back to our live event last Wednesday, we showed you guys behind the scenes how we do all this stuff. We can scan the country, over 80 different lenders. These are mortgage companies, big banks, Rocket Mortgage, like the one you see on TV all the time. We use these companies. And guys, we show you behind the scenes how we find you the best rate. So we take your information, we put in our data, and then we search the whole web. Do you realize that I am a federally chartered bank, but I have my programs? But if there's a better program, let's say, for example, like, Rocket Mortgage, okay? There's a better program at Rocket Mortgage. I can use their programs and their rate sheets to get you guys into a loan with them. But believe it or not, we are one of the largest wholesalers when it comes to Rocket's portfolio. That means we get preferred rates. So by going through us, we can get you a better rate by using our services and going through them, as you can get from them directly. They're just one of over 80 other lenders in the country that we do this for. Okay, so more pieces of this puzzle. A lot of people say, should I do some analysis? Is it better to rent or buy? Well, you can go through here and you can click this. I just added this recently, and you can go through there and put in all your details. Now, it's not just a little thing where it goes click, 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 and here's the best thing available to you. It takes in consideration all of these options. Okay, so you really want to drill it down. What are all the expenses? What are the taxes? What's your specific state taxes and everything? You go through here and you click it, and it'll tell you exactly what is best for you. Okay, so that's just one of the calculators. And you can go through other things. If you want to figure out, okay, how much of a mortgage payment could I get? Would it cost me, or if I bought this home, how much would my mortgage payment be? We can go right in here and plug in all the details. Right now, for a defaulted rate, use 6.5%, just to kind of get a ballpark on where those numbers would look. But again, you can click down below to have a one-on-one consultation with me or one of my team, one of the sales people on my team, and you guys can do this directly. So those are other tools that we have at your disposal right there. Then you go to resources. Here's a thing that we just added to our resource section. We come across hundreds, if not thousands, of millennials that are really struggling with student loan debt. And a lot of you guys are sitting out there and saying, okay, at what time is the Supreme Court, or is somebody going to make a decision on this? Well, let me make maybe your search a little simple. Wonder if I said there are 5 programs available to you right now, and all these are available today by just taking this action. Here's what you do. If you have over $40,000 in student loan debt, and most people do, it's not uncommon to have people with 100, 200, $300,000 in student loan debt. Let me explain to you how, on the mortgage side of things, how things work, because I know you're in forbearance at this time. So what happens when you have a student loan debt? In most cases right now, it's going to show up on your credit report. It's going to say, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so has, 18 student loans. And that's not uncommon. If that's you, you're probably sitting there chuckling, because every semester you're going to get a student loan, and then you can get up multiple student loans, and you can consolidate and do all this other stuff. So think, if you go to school for 4 years and each semester, you have 4 semesters, there's 16 student loans that you could have. Okay. Let's say each one of them is $10,000. So it's $160,000. So what do you do? Well, when you're trying to qualify for a mortgage, what's normally used on average, the average is 1% of the balance would be treated as what that payment would be. So for example, you have $160,000 in student loan debt. That means you have a $1,600 student loan payment based on the guidelines for most mortgage programs. But you're never going to get pre-approved for a home with a $1,600 student loan debt. So what do? Well, you go back to the scenario I talked to you about. Okay, so we added this right to our resource page. You go to resources, student loan relief. Okay, what you're going to show on your screen is Kyle. He's one of our partners here. He did a video recently with Catalina, she's the founder and president of My Loan Sense, and they did a fantastic video walking you through this process. But let me just show you how this basically works, or how it really works. So what you're going to do, I don't want that. Bear with me one second, folks. That's the schedule a consultation with us. Let me see if the link is on here. Don't have it. Man, I'm going to have to put it on here. So let's go into My Loan Sense.com. So we're going to go to the website, and here it is. So what you're going to do here is get a free plan. So let me see if we can go through here. If not, I'll have to access it here in 1 second. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second. All right. So here's its most simplified version. Let's go in here and say I make $85,000 a year, and my student loan debt is $160,000. So what happens is, remember I said in most cases what's used is 1% of that balance. So that would be $1,600. In this is just in its simplest forms. You most likely, based on these two numbers alone, just these two numbers alone, are going to qualify for that payment to be reduced from $1,600 to $549. Okay, so how do you get involved in this stuff? Well, let's go back to our website again. So this is our website. Let's go back to the main screen. I want to walk you guys through this. What you're going to do is go into resource section, student loan relief. If you have student loan debt and it exceeds $40,000, what I want you to do is go here and just click here. We want a consultation with you. I don't care if you're buying a house. We want to help all those out there when it comes to financial literacy, because I think the banks, I know the schools are failing us, folks. Okay, so I don't see any chats coming up yet, and that is really odd. So if anybody's out there and has a chat to give me, please post that up. We had this issue last week, and I apologize about that. I don't know why it's not coming through with the chat button, but I can almost guarantee you guys are out there having some questions. So what you do is you come here, you're just going to click this, pick a day and time that you're available. So tomorrow they're booking up. 8:30 p.m. is the only one, or that's today, or go tomorrow, and the day's wide open. Click the consultation. Okay, I don't care if you're buying a house or not. We need to make sure you guys know this information is out there for those in regards to student loan debt. Another area that we try to educate people on is credit. Okay, well, let's go back to the website. Let's make sure that we are all on the same page of what's on our website. Resources, let's go through theirs. What loan programs are available? Now, all these are going to be available on the consultation call that you have. So loan programs available, we're going to go over all your options. Is it best to get a fixed rate or an adjustable rate right now? Is there an interest-only program available? You go down through here. What is, can I qualify for an FHA loan or VA loan, USDA loan? Would a conventional loan be even better? These are all the questions that I'm sure that you have, and these are the questions that we'll answer for you. Go back to the website, or this is the My Loan Sense, and again, it's Catalina and Kyle. Kyle, check out Kyle's channel, Win the House You Love. And then Catalina is Loan Sense. Please make sure you check them out on YouTube as well. Give them a thumbs up and subscribe to their channels because they do a great deal of information here. The next piece of the puzzle we're trying to train you guys with is you need to know your credit. Okay. I don't care if you're in 8th grade. I don't care if you're in 5th grade. You need to know how important credit is to you because so many people dig themselves a hole when they start they're about ready to graduate college and they get their first credit card and they go crazy. And then nine times out of 10, it bites them in the butt. So this is basically a website that I created on my own. I did this. I don't pay. There's some services in here you can pay for, but I put this together mainly to educate you guys on credit, everything that comes to credit, especially some of the YouTube videos that I did previously that has hundreds of thousands of videos. What I want you to go through here and look through, there's a free credit scoring system right here. So if you click that, just click it. It'll take you to, let's just make sure all these are working. It's going to take you to Credit Sesame. Now, mostly everybody out there knows Credit Karma and some of those other free systems. This system is one that I use, okay? What I suggest you do, if you're not signed up for this system, sign up for it. It's free. When it asks you to upgrade to these services and whatever, don't do it. Please don't do it, okay? Because this is a fantastic system, but I don't want you to spend any money on it. Okay, that's coming from me, and I make money sometimes if you do these things, but I'm just saying, just subscribe to this system and don't do any of the other perks that it asks you to. All right, so that's the first thing. Let's go back. And I'm just being transparent. I'm showing you what's behind the scenes on some of these things. The next thing is, what is your true credit score? So what I want you to know is how your FICO that's showing up on here, that is your real credit score. Okay, so a lot of times what will happen is you'll get your credit score from systems like, okay, my Discover card gives it to me, or my Chase gives it to me, or I have, Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, those systems. Well, they're fantastic systems, but they're not truly a credit score that anybody uses to grant you credit. Okay, the credit that you get credit for, well, here's what's the best way I'm saying it. When you apply for a loan, even let's say your student loan, you apply for student loans. Okay, they're going to pull your credit score. They're going to pull your FICO credit score, okay, not your Vantage credit score. So I want you to know what it is. So how you can do that is by using this system. It's a system that it costs you, I think, less than $20 a month. I use this system to give me prompts and let me know what's going on with that, but I'm going to show you the system I really use. Okay, so this behind the scene, this gives you your true credit scores. But let me show you the system that I personally use, and I love this. Credit repair, that goes to Lexington Law. And did you guys know if your rent isn't on your credit report and you're paying well, if you're not paying well, don't do this. But if you're paying well, go here because it's Rent Reporter. Let me make sure all the links are working. Yes, Rent Reporter. You go in here, subscribe to this. You can have this company make sure that your rent is on your credit reports. And again, we want to make sure you're paying well. This is only going to help your credit. Okay. I only want you to do things that are helping your credit. Now let's go to the next piece of this. This is the system that I personally use, and it takes up the biggest space on here. I use a system called Smart Credit. Okay, here it is. There's a little tutorial video, and it shows you me, walking through a file, showing you all the tools and tricks that this thing does. It's amazing. And right down here, manage your credit scores, and you can just click that. It'll take you right here to credit scores and more website, the Smart Credit link, and you're on your way. But you can check out a lot of the things that this thing does, and it is the cheapest system in the market right now and is robust and completely full of features. All right, so that is that for today. You guys aren't posting any comments, so I'm assuming the comments are down for some reason today. I don't know what's happening. I'm using Restream, and it might be a Restream issue, so I'll make sure tomorrow I am live, or I'll switch systems. I can go to OBS or some other systems to use this. But right now, the markets are closed. Let's check. Let's see. Dow Jones ended up almost 200 points. The S&P basically nothing. NASDAQ down 50. Russell is up a little bit. But where you're most concerned about, if you're watching me, is where in the heck are mortgage rates going? So let's check in on the rates right now. Based on this, you saw the MBS market down basically 28 and 45. That's a huge spread between these two coupons. Let's see where Mortgage News Daily is putting rates for today. So they have rates up 16 basis points. Remember this morning when the MBS market was up about this, I said we're probably going to get 0.1, maybe 0.125 in adjustments to rates. Well, That's what happened. So please don't try to time the market, guys. Let us do that for you. This is one of the services that we offer you. So let me kind of walk you behind the scenes of a mortgage. So a lot of you might be out there watching and saying, okay, I'd really love to buy a house. I think this is the time of the market to do it. My market's doing pretty good. What do I need to do? So let me talk those that are watching right now who have no idea about home ownership or the process on what you need to do. And I'm going to make this as transparent as I possibly can. The first thing you want to do is decide, is it a good time for me and my family or myself to do this? Okay, so you want to analyze your financials. Do you have some money set aside? I would suggest you have 3 to 6 months of reserves in the bank. What do I mean by reserves? Well, let's say if you got a mortgage and your mortgage payment's going to be $2,000, okay? We want to make sure we have $2,000 in the bank for the next 6 months plus miscellaneous bills. So let's say the other bills that you have are another $1,200 a month. Okay, so we have $3,000 or $3,200 a month in expenses, or we'll round it to 4. So you want to have maybe with a 12-month cushion, maybe you have $10,000 to $12,000 set aside. If it doesn't need it, if nothing comes up where you need it, God bless you. You have 20,000. You have that money in the bank. Okay, so now you decide, okay, the time is right for me. Now what do I do? Where do I even start? Do I watch Javier's videos because he can tell me how much I can afford for this payments? Do I watch Kyle just to learn about the programs? Nicole has some great programs about down payment assistance. What do I do? Well, the first thing I want you to do is schedule a consultation. Okay, there's a link down below that you can do that. We're going to answer these questions side by side with you guys. We can do it via Zoom. We can do it phone calls, however you guys want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down 3 big components of when you're looking to buy that first house or maybe that first investment property. Those 3 things are this. We want to go over your credit. We want to make sure you have the right credit scores, you're monitoring the right things. And when you give us a score, we want to know, with accuracy or somewhat of accuracy, where is it? So we might even come back to you and say, hey, why don't you don't have to, but why don't you use one of these systems so you can accurately come back to us with exactly what the credit score is. And to do that, you'd use the My FICO scores. Okay, so you can go back to our website, and our website is right here. Well, let's go to the credit website. You're going to go to the creditscoresandmore.com. What you're going to do over there is you're going to go down through here, and what is your true credit score? Because we need to know your FICO score. So let me bring that back up on the screen. So again, where I was my creditscoresandmore.com. And this is a site that I created. You want to know what your true credit score is. So you're going to click that, and what's going to pop up is your FICO. Okay, you're going to click it right here. So by using this link, you're going to get a 20% discount, and you can click that and get your true credit scores. Okay, so then from there, now we know what's going on. So from there, we might go back to you guys and say, okay, you might want to use the credit system that we recommend because it'll give you some ideas on how much you can get your credit scores up. But the first thing is you need to know your credit scores, okay? Because your credit scores are that important. Why I like minors to know these things, especially high school kids, is because if you go to college, you get that first credit card and you go crazy, you're going to dig yourself a hole. Okay, what I mean by a hole, you're going to miss payments, you're going to overspend, you're going to do all this other stuff. Trust me, we all go through it. And it's going to be, based on how big a hole you dig, well, that's how much time we're going to need to get you back out of the hole. Okay, so that's the biggest part. Your credit score is going to come into play when it comes to your insurance. So if you're looking to get a car, or you're a teenager out there and you're like, okay, I'm going to get my own car one of these days, the worse your credit score is, the higher your insurance bill is going to be. And trust me, when you're a teenager or you're younger than 25, your car insurance is going to be high anyways. Okay, so we really need to know credit scores. The next thing is we want to talk about is what is your income? How much income are you working with? Because this is probably the number one question people have. They're like, I'm a Uber driver. Can I use that income? I'm on Social Security or pension. Can I use that income? I'm part-time. Can I use that income? I've been only on my job for 6 months. Can I use the income? Those are just the top 5 or 6 questions that most people have. They don't know what they qualify with. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we do the consultation call that you can do below. We need to drill down and figure out exactly how much your income is, so then we know how much you might be able to qualify for when it comes to a home. Okay, so if you're self-employed, we have all kind of programs for those as well. But you can even qualify for standard mortgage products using that. But it's a little bit more complex for those that are self-employed. So when it comes tax time that we're coming around to right now, please don't go crazy on your deductions, because I know it's fun to basically look on taxes that you're making zero and pay no taxes. But when you go to get a loan, it's going to bite you in the butt, because if you're paying no taxes, means you're making no income. Making no income means you have no house. Okay, so that's that part of it. So the next piece of this puzzle is the down payment. So these are the top three things we're going to discuss with you: what your credit scores are, what your income looks like, and how much money are you working with. You do not need 20% of a down payment unless you're buying your first investment property. Okay, in most cases, if you're buying your first house, you need 3 to 3.5% down. Now, there are programs out there that have no down payments required. Those are VA. So if you're a veteran, God bless you. If you haven't used that benefit, use it now. And if you used it before, let's make sure those options are still available to you at this time. A lot of people also should be able to qualify for a program called USDA. No, it's not for a farm. It is actually, if you're in a somewhat of a rural area, you can qualify for 100% financing, no money down. Those are the two programs that are available for you out there if you don't have any money for a down payment. Now, there's still down payment assistance programs. If you want to check out Kyle's channel as well as my channel, and even Nicole. I think Nicole just did a recent video on down payment assistance. We pride ourselves on having I'll say the best down payment assistance programs out there. And here's why. There's a lot of down payment assistance programs out there, but the strings attached way exceed the benefits of getting that money. So here's what I mean. A lot of down payment assistance programs are this. You get the money, okay, and it's a second lien on the property in most cases, where you need to make a payment on that. Okay. And it's there forever until you pay it off. So sometimes you don't have to make payments to it. But what happens is by the time you sell the property, it has to be paid off. So you can't sell the property or refinance the home without paying it off. And this is the amount of money for the down payment assistance. So let's say you get $10,000 for down payment assistance. You're going to have a loan on your house for 10 grand with an interest rate and payments. If it's a good one, you won't have payments, but you're going to have to pay it off at the end, or when you sell the house or when you refinance. We're offering a couple of programs that are basically free money, meaning you get a grant. When you walk out of the closing, it is free money to you with no strings attached. Yes, it comes with a higher rate. So what we do is we get you into this program. You make 6 payments. After the 6 payments are made, we come back to you and say, okay, let's get you out of that program. And in most of these programs that we're offering, they have very easy refinance structures like FHA. FHA has what's called an FHA streamline. VAs have what's called an IRRRL. It's called IRRRL, something like that, which is basically a streamlined process. And USDA has them as well. So we get you into this loan. It does have a higher rate. You're going to make 6 payments at that higher rate. Then we're going to get you out of that high rate and put you into what market rates are right now. So basically, that loan is gone and you got 100% free money. So that is my report for today. Let's go back and streamline this one more time. The Dow Jones and everything else ended up pretty good. The NASDAQ was down a little bit, nothing to sneeze about. We go to mortgage rates. Mortgage rates were up about an eighth across the board, and an eighth is 0.125. So we have it there, and there. So mortgage rates are up for today. But the good news, you guys can't even see my screen. Here it is. But the good news for today is there's no banks going insolvent, thus making the markets crash. And guys, let me just give you my expectations of what to expect for this week. Let's go through the economic calendar. If you are here with me still, let's go through this. I can't see if you guys are watching or not, so my apologies, guys. What I use on this is I go to Bloomberg and they have a calendar. Then I go through and I filter, because I can basically get what's going on all over the world. I clear this, I go down through here and I pick the United States. That's what I want. I want to select all these categories, and I only want the top tiered importances of what's coming up this week. So here's what we have on the economic calendar for the week. On Tuesday, starting tomorrow, how confident is the consumer out there? If it was up to me, this would be basically 100 is, no. Basically, this would be 0. I have no confidence right now. It's like flipping a coin to figure out what the markets are going to do. Is the stock market going to be up today, or mortgage rates going to be down? It's like, basically flipping a coin. Don't know really what's going on. Pending home sales. Okay. How's the sales market? Is there more and more sales taking place? Please don't reference this as pending home sales. Okay, pending homes. Please don't take this as prices, because people are going to say, "Oh, see, it's down 2% or whatever." This is the number of houses that are getting sold. Previous reading was 8.1% increase. All the forecasts have it at negative 2.3. I don't think we're going to be that low, but that's what they're expecting right now. Crude oil inventories. You might want to say, Dan, why is that on the top priority list? Because this gives us a big gauge on what's going on with inflation on the energy sector. So I monitor that. Then we have GDP. It's coming in for its second reading. The previous reading was 3.2. It was revised to 2.7. We're going to see if there's any final revisions on that. I'm not expecting that. Initial jobless claims. This is a very important area that we're going to look into. We're expecting the initial jobless claims to start increasing or going up, because if we're on the brink of a recession, what you're going to start seeing is stocks and everything starting to take a hit, sales starting to go down, and then people getting laid off because of those slow sales. And then last but not least, we have the core PCE is coming in. The inflation number that the Federal Reserve mostly monitors. And you can even find that if you go to this, you can scroll down and it'll tell you through here what it is. And it does say, where is it? Federal's preferred inflation measure, and thus receives great attention. So the core PCE is the Fed's preferred way of gauging inflation. So guys, I'm going to tune off for today. I think I gave you enough information there was to conclude what happened in the markets and the whys. And I'm not sure what's happening with my chat button. Let me see. I can show you guys. See, I have nothing here on the side for my chat. So I apologize about that. I don't know what's going on with Restream. I'll try to get rid of it and re-upload it to make sure that tomorrow I can answer all the questions that you have. So thanks for watching, guys. God bless. If you would, please give the video a thumbs up if you find entertainment or at least educational value in this video, and it just helps me reach out to more and more people. So sorry we couldn't chat today, guys. Don't know why, but I'll look into that, because that's what makes it so important, because I want to make sure you guys can ask me questions and I can provide you the answers, or at least the tools to get those answers for you. So God bless, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.